If you're in the market for a quantum power chair with 4 electrical seat functions, stay tuned to learn more. Hey, I'm Alex with Marc's Mobility. In this video, we're going to go over with you a Quantum Edge 3. This particular model here does have 4 electrical seat functions. It also has less than 2 miles of total drive distance, so it's an almost new chair with very minimal usage. This is going to have a 12-inch electrical seat lift. It's going to have electric tilt, electric recline, and electric legs. I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the functions on the chair first, and then we'll go through the base and other specs on the unit after that. So on this particular chair, you would go through the joystick, which we do have a video showing you how to work a QLogic 3 joystick. And then once you have a picture of a seat on the actual display, you're going to cycle left and right to basically get the right seat function highlighted. And then when you do have, for example, I'm doing the seat lift, if just the bottom cushion is lit up yellow, you go ahead and pull back on the joystick, the seat will begin to rise. Now I will mention as well, this unit does have a 300-pound weight capacity, so that if you are over the 300-pound capacity, there is an HD model chair that has up to 400-pound capacity with a seat lift, but this particular unit does have a 300-pound capacity on all the Edge 3 models. Now this is what you're looking like when your seat is all the way in the elevated position. You still are able to drive at a little bit of reduced speed. I think it's somewhere to 3.5–4 miles an hour when the seat is all the way elevated, as compared to a little over 6 miles an hour when the seat is down. Now I want to give you a couple measurements. The seat pan is 30 inches off the ground when elevated, or it would be at 18 inches when the seat is down. And then it's going to depend on your seat, top of the seat cushion to the ground, depending on what size cushion you put on there. Currently this is almost a 5-inch cushion, so you're about 34 to 35 inches top of the seat cushion to the ground when you're elevated. But once again, you are able to drive the chair when it's in the elevated position, and I will show this as well at the end of the video when I do an outside driving demonstration. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to bring the seat back down and go over some other things on the unit. This does have a swing away joystick, which does allow the joystick to swing to the side. So this is a great piece to have on a chair that allows you to pull up closer to a table and or a countertop or different things. It also is useful too if you want to get in and out of the chair so you don't have any obstruction at the end of your armrests. This particular one does have a cup holder on the end of the armrest, but it does slide off really easily. So once again, if you're worried about obstruction at the end of the arm, that does just pop right here into this little mold. Very easy to take in or off the unit. So I'm going to swing the joystick back forward. The next thing I'm going to show you is going to be the electric tilt. That is going to be when your back and bottom both go back at the same time, so you're still in a seated position. But what this is doing is this is taking the pressure off the lower half of your body, applying that to your back, so it helps with circulation to the lower half, which can help with some type of pressure sores, and it helps with just kind of repositioning the person in the chair as well. Now, while you're in this full tilted position, you are able also to elevate the legs, which you can do individually, but it is also sometimes needed to have somebody's feet above their heart. So I want to show you that you are able to be in a tilted position and also elevate your legs. Now, you can elevate your legs and then go into the tilt position, or you can do it either way. But this is kind of what you'd be looking like if you were fully tilted back with your legs elevated. I'm going to go ahead now and bring the tilt back down. One more thing to mention on the joystick. Currently right now there's a red X on the screen, and when I get back to a normal seated position, it will switch back to a green circle. What that is telling you is, hey, you're not in a safe driving seated position, so go ahead and get back to a more of an upright position, and then you're able to actually drive the chair. So you will run into that when you're doing some tilt and when you're doing some of the recline. When you're raising the seat up, you'll see a green eye pop up on the screen. That just means you're at the eye level, which is indicating that you're going to be at a reduced speed. So the eye level means reduced speed, red means you cannot drive, and then a full green circle means you're in the full driving capability with your speeds. So this is what you'd be looking like right here if you had your recline and your legs in kind of that lay flat type position. I'm going to go ahead now. I am able to do the recline and the legs through the joystick at the same time. That's the only 2 functions that you can do simultaneously, but just for video purposes, I'm going to bring them back up to a normal seated position just for time. This unit does have a switch right here that's actually located. It can be anywhere on the chair, but on this unit, it is located right here on the swing away. It's a little push button, which then allows you to have headlights and tail lights, little LED lights on the unit. The Quantum 6 Edge 3 is a mid-wheel drive design, which is going to be the smallest turning radius out of the different designs that they make. They make a front wheel, a rear wheel, and a mid-wheel. Mid-wheel does turn the smallest, so it's great for inside the house to be able to navigate around. If you're using this inside a van and you want to kind of pivot it and turn into a driver or a passenger seat, mid-wheel is the easiest design to do that. Now, if you do call us and let us know, we do have other models. So if you want something that's just strictly outside or different combinations of how you're going to use it, let us know. We do have different models of the base that might work at a different application for what you're needing. You do have 14-inch solid drive tires in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights off as well. And then you have 6-inch caster wheels in the front and the rear. You have 4 tie-down points on this unit. So if you have any, you have one in the front and one in the back, and then the same on the other side. So if you're using public transportation or you have Q-lock straps inside your van, this is where you would tie it down to. I also want to mention this is compatible with a Q-lock or an easy lock type system. That's a floor mount system on a van. So if you are purchasing one of these, you can take it to a van type mobility dealer and they can put one of those locking systems on the vehicle for you. Now, armrests flip up on both sides for easy access. And then these are chest guards that can be removed. So this is not something you have to keep on there, but this particular user must have had some type of instability with their trunk, and so they needed extra support. But these do have a button that you can swing them out, or we can take them right off the track itself. Headrest is very easily adjustable. You have many different pivot points right here with an Allen wrench, and where you can fine tune this to the end user. I will mention as well that the Quantum Edge 3 does have front and rear suspension. This is the gold shock suspension that they worked with Motocross to design this suspension, so it is some of the better suspension that is out there on the market. One more thing before I go over the dimensions of this chair with you as well. When we do sell these chairs, we send out a measuring chart to the end user, so it doesn't matter if you're 300 pounds and you're 6'5" or you're 5 feet tall, 100 pounds, we will fit this chair to your size. So these cushions do sit on Velcro, and we're able to adjust the pan and make it fit to your size as long as you're under that 300-pound weight capacity. So if you see this and you're saying, hey, this is not the right size for me, or the joystick's on the wrong side, all of that is adjustable. So give us a call. We would love to speak to you on the unit. The current seat is on here right now is a 17-inch wide by about 19 inches in depth. So guessing somebody was probably somewhere in that 5'10", 150-pound range, just guessing, basing off what the current seat size is on this particular unit. Now, foot plates do flip up for easy access, so if you want to get in and out of the unit, you can flip those up so you don't have any obstruction to trip over when you're getting in and out of the unit. And then also these actually have a little bit smaller foot plates on there, but we can change these out to the 11-inch foot plates. I believe these measure about 8 inches and they make an 11-inch option as well. 2 batteries in this unit. They're 55-amp batteries. They come out from the front. So if you are looking for batteries, not just for this chair, but for most any chair on the market, give us a call. We ship almost all the batteries out there directly to your home within a few days. So this is the Quantum Edge 3. It is one of the best mid-wheel drive units that is going to have that iLevel function. And if you would, go ahead and follow me outside. I'm going to do a driving demonstration so you can see what I look like sitting in this chair. So what we have here is the Quantum Edge 3. Just to give you a reference, I'm 6 foot tall, 220 pounds. So this chair could be a little bit wider for me. They do have these lateral guards here that I mentioned earlier in the video, that you do have a button back over here that you can press and they can swing away to the sides. But that is a nice feature to have if you need extra trunk support. It does have a seat belt, but this is just going to keep the upper trunk in a more seated, upright seated position. This unit's 300-pound capacity, a little over 6 miles an hour top end speed. I showed you earlier all the different seat functions as well, but what I want to show you when I'm outside is I'm going to show you with this in the upright seated position with the seat elevated, so you can kind of see the overall speed and stability of the unit. Once again, it's a mid-wheel drive design, so I'll turn it here in a second so you can see it's got a relatively small turning radius for the size of the chair. Now, I do have my feet kicked out a little bit in front of me just for comfort, but you can tuck those all the way in and or adjust them to any desired angle that you need for your legs. So now, while in the elevated seat position, there are 4 different seat profiles on here as well. So if you're in the highest speed profile, I'm topping out at about 4.6 miles an hour top end speed when elevated. So that is a little bit faster than maybe the Permobil brand. This is going to go, 4.6 is what I'm topping out at top end speed. But once again, you can see the overall stability of this unit. even when I'm turning relatively sharp in this. So here you can see the small turning radius. So if you're looking for a power chair that is going to have all these different seat functions on it and have less than 2 miles of total drive distance, I think this would be a wonderful unit to consider.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And my name is Alex. We're co-owners of Marc's Mobility.
I started this company in 1995.
We sell many products, not just what you see in this video. If you have any questions or concerns, please call us at the number below at 800-677-6293. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.